Hi, I'm Pastor Kurt, and this is your 5-minute Bible study. Today, we're going to look at John chapter 10, verses 1 through 21. This is often called the Good Shepherd Discourse. Portions of this section here from John 10 always appear on the fourth Sunday of Easter. So about halfway through the Easter season, we always get Good Shepherd Sunday. And we always hear a portion of this section of the Good Shepherd Discourse. But before we get into Jesus using this imagery of him as the Good Shepherd, we need to back up a little bit. In the previous video, I talked about the guy who was born blind and yet who then witnessed to what Jesus did in healing him. This all took place in John chapter 9. At the end of John chapter 9, Jesus comes and meets this guy again. At the beginning of that chapter and at the end of the chapter, Jesus talks to this guy. Remember, he started off physically blind. He couldn't see Jesus, but he could still hear him. Jesus called this guy. Jesus changed his life by what he said to him, and he opened the man's eyes. Think metaphorically here, okay? Jesus' words open our eyes to see new things. Well, here in John chapter 10, we hear about Jesus the Good Shepherd. And he talks about how the sheep know his voice. It connects back to John chapter 9, right? This guy was one of Jesus' sheep. Jesus sought him out, and the guy recognized Jesus' voice. Jesus says at the beginning of this section that he is the gate for the sheep. Then he gets into saying, I am the good shepherd. We're used to hearing him say, I am the good shepherd. The good shepherd lays down his life for the sheep. But at the beginning, he also says, I am the gate for the sheep. Okay, so what does that mean? Well, the gate is what let the sheep come into safety, right? Through Jesus, we receive safety. And then Jesus switches the metaphor a little bit and says that he is the good shepherd. He is the one who lays down his life for the sheep. Now, why would he need to do that? Why do the sheep need protection in the first place? Because there are thieves and bandits who are trying to sneak into the sheep gate to steal and destroy the sheep. They need protection. One thing to think about, though, is that thieves and bandits would only try to sneak into the sheep gate, or into the sheepfold, I should say, if they realized that the sheep have value. Thieves don't try to steal something that isn't worth anything. Here, Jesus says that there are thieves and bandits who are trying to steal you. There are all of these other voices in the world that are trying to steal you. Think about all of the ads that you see, especially targeted ads online. Ads that take into account things that you've already bought or websites you visited, this kind of thing. And they call out directly to you, saying, hey, you bought this thing in the past. I think you might like to buy this other thing now. There are all of these other voices in the world that are trying to steal you away from Jesus because they know you're valuable. But Jesus knows you're valuable too. And he's not going to let them have you. You belong to him. You are among his sheep. The important thing here is, one, to remember that you belong to Jesus, and two, to listen to his voice, which can be really, really hard to do. In our world, with all of these advertisements and all of these things around us, and even the voices in your own head, all of these things are trying to pull you away from Jesus. And yet, Jesus reminds you that he is your good shepherd and that he knows his own and his own know him. Think back to the guy in John chapter 9. That guy never saw Jesus with his eyes until the very end of the chapter. He only heard Jesus' voice. In the same way, today we can listen for Jesus' voice. Okay, how do we do that? We do that through reading Scripture, through prayer, through worship, through listening, right? That's what this is all about. It's so easy for us to get distracted and pulled away by all these other voices in our world. But Jesus is reminding us to listen to him because he is the one who lays down his life for you. None of these other voices will lay down their life for you. Only Jesus will. And he does so in order that you may have life. There's your 5-minute Bible study. Please remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Thanks.